All right, welcome back to the channel. So we have some bad news as rising upcoming prospect in Jaron Boots Ennis. It seems like the WBC has dropped him in the ranking system. He was in number 3, and now they pushed him back to number 4. And Keith Thurman could be potentially in a position to fight Errol Spence Jr. in an eliminator against Virgil Ortiz, or however that's going to go. I'm going to break it down for y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So it looks like that the WBC hasn't been involved in some scandalous stuff once again when it comes to the sport of boxing. We know that Jaron Ennis is working very hard to become to compete for a title within the ranking system. Jaron Ennis is number 4 in the WBC. He's number 3 in the WBA. He's number 3 in the IBF, and he's number 2 in the WBO. Jaron Ennis deserves to be in the top spots, and now it seems to me that they're trying to push Keith Thurman up in the list. And Keith Thurman is a reminder that he has not fought within. He only had basically 3 to 4 fights within 5 years. So what has Keith Thurman has done in the last 2 years since he's been off? He has done nothing. He fought a guy within Mario Barrows, which a guy that Gervonta Tank Davis has brutally knocked out at 140, and he barely got through the fight with Mario Barrows, in my opinion, and he looked it very awful and very bad. So the situation has changed once again with the WBC. They have put in Jaron Ennis, who was in the 3 spot, and they pushed him back to number 4. Why has the WBC did this? For some reason. The WBC has Virgil Ortiz at number 1, David Azanesian at number 2, Keith Thurman at number 3, who done absolutely nothing to deserve that spot. Well, the WBC said Keith Thurman did fight for eliminator. So why did you not put Keith Thurman at the number 5 spot instead of putting Danny Garcia, who lost? Put Danny Garcia back down and then put Keith Thurman at that 5 spot, and then you can go ahead and order eliminator between Jaron Ennis and Keith Thurman. But the WBC, we all know the corruption with them, and what doesn't make sense to me is that they put Virgil Ortiz in number 1 spot, and he's fighting a guy within Michael McKinson, who is not even ranked in the WBC. He is ranked number 3 in the WBO. So Virgil Ortiz is not going to be fighting a guy, so I don't know why he's number 1. And David Azanesian is fighting some guy that's not even ranked in the WBC as well. So why would they not put David Azanesian at number 4 instead of Jaron Ennis, and put Keith Thurman at number 4? Let Jaron Ennis keep number 3, and let the winner of Eliminator fight Jaron Ennis and Keith Thurman. It makes absolutely no sense on why did they push Jaron Ennis down. They're obviously trying to block this little man for getting his fair opportunity at a title shot. Jaron Ennis is very high in the other ranking system, but it seems to me that they pushed him back in the WBC for some oddly strange reason. What in the heck has Keith Thurman done in the last 2 or 3 years to be pushed back just like this, And it makes absolutely no sense. This is what ruins the sport of boxing, when you push great potential prospects fighter like Jaron Ennis back from his opportunity to get a shot at the WBC title. Now we know that a lot of people doesn't want to see Jaron Ennis versus Errol Spence, because we wants to see the biggest fight in the sport of boxing between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. That's a fight that's going to be made, but hopefully someday we could potentially see a fight between Jaron Boots Ennis and Errol Spence Jr., or Jaron Boots Ennis and Terrence Crawford at 154. It depends how long these guys are going to be potentially fighting. With that being said, it seems like that it's making obviously no sense on why Keith Thurman is number 3. Maybe you guys can make this make sense. Keith Thurman should not deserve to be in that number 3 spot ahead of Jaron Ennis, because Keith Thurman, he has not fought a guy within the ranking system. He fought a guy within Mario Barrows, who was not from 15 in the ranking system. If you guys go to boxingscene.com, you could see that Jaron Ennis is number 4 on the list. And Jaron Ennis a few weeks ago was number 3, and now Keith Thurman just can swoop in after a 2-year layoff and fight a guy with this Mario Barrows coming up from 140 pounds, that a guy that Gervonta Tank Davis has brutally knocked out, and Keith Thurman gets number 3. So it makes no sense. I would rather see them put Jaron Ennis at number 2 because David Abanesian is not even fighting a guy within the top 15 ranking system, or you can put Jaron Ennis at number 1 in basically number 1 because Virgil Ortiz is fighting a guy within Michael McKinson that's not even ranked in the WBC rankings, which is a guy that is ranked in the WBO. And we all know Jaron Ennis is fighting a guy within Custio Clayton. He's not even ranked in the WBC, but it's a step up fight for Jaron Ennis. And Michael McKinson, it makes no sense why boxing is confused. When you're in the ranking system, you should be trying to fight guys within your ranking system, and so you can move up. But they got the way they got these guys, these top guys, fighting guys that's not even ranking system. So it makes no sense why Virgil Ortiz is fighting Michael McKinson. It makes no sense that David Abanesian is not even fighting a guy that I don't even know about. He's not even ranked in the ranking system. And you got a guy within Keith Thurman that just fought Mario Barrows by a decision, beat him by the decision, and Mario Barrows just stepped up to the 147-pound limit. It makes absolutely no sense. Why did they push Jaron in his back? That's the big question. They're trying to basically, the WBC is basically cock blocking Jaron Ennis because they don't want to spoil anything. I believe the WBC wants to see Errol Spence versus not Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. And Errol Spence is on record stating that he would never fight Keith Thurman, and I would drop all the belts and move up to 154 pounds. And I don't know why they're trying to shine this man out of an opportunity. I would have rather see Jaron Ennis stay at his number 3 spot, and you could have pushed Keith Thurman at number 5 and stuff like that, and push Danny Garcia back down because Danny Garcia, you know, he's moving up to 154 pounds. That's what he said. So you could put David Abanesian out. The ranking system is confusing, guys. I don't know. Push David Abanesian down more in the ranking systems, and make sure you have Virgil Ortiz. Move Jaron Boots Ennis up. Maybe put Keith Thurman under Jaron Ennis, and then order a title eliminator. But it seems to me that you have Virgil Ortiz, David Abanesian, Keith Thurman, Jaron Ennis, and Danny Garcia. I don't understand why did the WBC push Jaron Ennis down. It makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, they don't want this man to get a title shot or being a title eliminator. And it looks like Keith Thurman could potentially be another WBC title eliminator if Virgil Ortiz could be potentially successful against Michael McKinson. Virgil Ortiz could be mandated to fight Errol Spence Jr., or they could first Virgil Ortiz to fight Keith Thurman for a final eliminator, and whoever the winner of that be will get Errol Spence Jr. But it just see, this is the stuff that ruins the sport of boxing. You have a fair and a proud, strong, hard-working fighter within Jaron Ennis who built his name up from the ground up and worked his way all up in the ranking system to get the fight and potentially fight a big star within Errol Spence Jr. that some people may not feel like he's not ready, but he worked up his way in the list and he got his shot and he wanted to get his opportunity at Errol Spence Jr. as well. But it seems to me that he will not be getting the shot in the upper ranking system because Keith Thurman has came in after a 2-year layoff and took the shine away from Jaron Ennis. You guys go check out the ranking system on Boxing Scene. It makes absolutely no sense. And like I stated before, this is what ruined the sport of boxing. The WBC is ruining the sport of boxing. They don't want any top tier fighters to shine. They only support their only fighters and only support their culture and stuff like that. And it ain't no slight to Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz worked hard as well. But when you got a guy like Jaron Ennis who worked hard to get where he at, and then it being taken all away from a guy within Keith Thurman who has damn near did nothing, talked all this smack about how Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez were cherry picking, and Keith Thurman said a couple weeks ago that I don't even care about fighting the best opposition. I just want to make what's best for the business of boxing, fights that's best for the business of boxing, and get all the money as I possibly could potentially get out and get the bag. So the WBC, in my opinion, is ruining the sport of boxing. They obviously doesn't care about the young fighters that work from the ground up to get their shot at a title potential. With that being said, it looks like Jaron Ennis has been pushed down in the WBC ranking systems over Keith Thurman. I don't understand why did they do this. Obviously, they don't want the young man to shine. With that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.